It's Love Hate Day,
Yeah,
Jay Croucher.
It is. So let's get straight into it.
Yes.
Start with the running backs.
Yes, you're looking very bankerish.
Thank you. Well, it's commercial. It's commercial
I know,
Thursday.
we got a commercial Thursday.
Commercial action.
Exactly.
Coming up.
Lawrence Jackson in a T-shirt. He's not part of the commercial.
Man,
I can't do the commercials because if I do the commercials, then y'all would never get to do one.
That's a good point.
Well,
we don't want to be displaced.
A man who, if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to be in a lot of commercials going forward. That's Bucky Irving.
Well done.
We heard from Bucky Irving on the Bucs' run game success.
Going into a game, we always want to establish the run. We know everything starts up front with the O-line, so just being able to trust them guys every time we get the opportunity to run the ball, just believing them that they're going to open up the holes and we trust our progression, go through our reads, and do what we do.
Excited to wear these sweet, white, creamsicle uniforms.
I'm excited to go against the Jets. I don't really care about the uniforms.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Oh, from an Oregon guy?
Not at all.
Very Matthew Barry type question. Hey, Bucky, you excited to wear these sweet, light creamsicle jerseys?
I would be.
They are delicious.
I'm pro creamsicle jerseys.
Sure, definitely. They look great, but I believe Bucky Irving when he say that.
Yes, I do too.
I definitely believe because he gonna run like it too.
Yeah,
He's ahead of Jameer Gibbs in the running back rankings.
Yes, he is. He comes in at number 6, which is why he makes the love list. Look, you're obviously starting him. Everyone that's drafted him is starting him. But do I think he exceeds expectations this week, which is what the love and hate list is all about, those that exceed or fall short of expectations? I do. Look, we talked at the beginning of the show. You saw the clip about my running back hands, my jazz hands, the number of bell cow running backs. Well, Bucky Irving is one of them. Right? There's only 4 running backs this year, averaging at least 20 touches a game and at least a 15% target share, and one of them is Bucky Irving. 2 first names, always a crowd pleaser. You know what else is a crowd pleaser? A matchup against the Jets. Through 2 weeks, Lawrence, the Jets are bottom 10 in terms of most fantasy points allowed to opposing running backs. This Jets defense, it's weird because I think the Jets are a better team than they were last year, even though they're 0-2, and even though the Jets defense hasn't seemed to show up in the way that we expected them to.
Yeah, and Jay, you just mentioned how Matthew has Bucky Irving ahead of Jameer Gibbs. Well, that's understandably so. You got Gibbs versus the Ravens. Bucky Irving going against this Jets team that just let James Cook run wild on them.
Yeah,
so
just
Bucky
let James cook.
Yeah,
See what I did there?
He cooked them for real. Talk about witty there, Matthew. Good one. But expect something similar out of Bucky Irving. We saw him against the Texans as the Bucs are trying to come back. Bucky Irving involved in the run game, pass game, just like we used to. So should be another nice day for
Producer Steven, do me a favor. That they let James cook. Do me a favor. Clip that off. Send that into the Smithsonian and the Emmy reel. Go ahead and do that.
Okay, comment from Tej. Let's move on quickly. Bucky Irving will be the RB1 this week. I think I am very high on him, as is Matthew. It's about time.
Do you think Tej? I'm just looking at Tej's note here real quick.
Tiger?
Well, no, he just says high is in all caps. Is that like sort of code? Do you think
what that means?
Is he smoking a doob or something like that? Has he got a bong?
He's a tiger.
I'm just asking. You think he's a gummy guy or a bong guy, Lawrence?
It's hard for the Tigers
because he wrote it. Because he wrote
with the pause with the pause. It's hard with a
Everyone knows
with a
the Tigers are gummy creatures. All right, Valiant Vincent creamsicle jerseys, drink free. Yeah, no doubt. Opposition to that. The creamsicle jerseys are a big hit. It's bad news for New York Jets that their defining player this season, and the guy that most Jets fans text me about, Michael Clemens, who's not been good, not been a great start to the season for Michael Clemens.
Tough start.
And a guy, Lawrence, who took advantage of said Jets run defense, was, to be fair, a much maligned guy on this show, James Cook, in the preseason.
1,000%.
But he has shoved that in
I was leading that charge, and so through 2 games, I have been wrong on James Cook, Lawrence.
Yeah, not on this show, just y'all on this show. Let's let them know that.
Majority of the show.
James Cook, running back 1 through the first 2 weeks in fantasy points per game. This is the thing about it, fellas. Week 1, he was running back 4 in a negative game script. Next week against the Jets, positive game script, running back 2. So that's what you want to see with James Cook. What you also want to see, too, is through these first 2 games, he has had at least 18 total touches and over 100 scrimmage yards. That's the thing we've been trying to that's what we wanted to see out of James Cook. We didn't want to see these 13 and 14 touch games. Now he's getting these 18 touches, and he's making the most of them. Again, over 5 yards a carry. I still believe if the Bills did not go away from him against the Chiefs, they would have played the Eagles in the Super Bowl. James Cook is a
with that.
baller. They are riding him in the run game, and he's getting work in the pass game. Against the Ravens in week 1, he didn't do well in the run game. They said, all right, we're going to throw him some little passes, and he made one of the biggest plays in that game. So James Cook, big love this week against the Miami defense, who's allowed the 6th most fantasy points to running back so far.
Yeah, I mean, one of the anti-James Cook arguments that I made in the preseason was they just didn't use him in the passing game enough. Last year he had a under 9% target share, and so or at least under a 10% target share. And so the fact that if they are going to continue, which I never understood because he's a good pass catcher and he's an explosive player. So if they are going to continue this trend of using him more in the passing game, then yeah, let James cook. That's all we're asking. I'm asking you, Buffalo, tonight to let James cook. Again, you see what I did there? I used his last name as a verb.
Yes.
Jay Croucher.
You did it twice.
I did it.
You did it twice.
Again.
Go and make it 3 times
There you
just
go.
for the folks.
You got you. I got you. That's all right. That's all right. Yes.
Let's keep going. So the Bills are 12.5-point favorites in that game too, which will help for game script and help James get the chef's hat out of the kitchen. Let's move on to Jordan Mason, Matthew,
sir.
who now all of a sudden might be featuring on the vaunted Berry running back workhorse. Aaron Jones is on IR.
That's exactly right. You know, Jordan Mason, again, another guy, 2 first names, always a crowd pleaser. And he's had 7 career games, literally 7 games where he's gotten a decent workload, where he's gotten at least 15 or more touches. And in those 7 games, he's averaging 94 yards. You mentioned Aaron Jones on IR, so we certainly expect Jordan Mason to get at least 15 touches for the Vikings this weekend in a game against Cincinnati, right? Who last week allowed 5.3 yards per carry to Jacksonville running backs, right? Last week, both Travis Etienne and Bashal Tutin ran all over Cincinnati. So Mason, who, by the way, started to be more involved in the passing game, that's never been a big part of his game, 4% target share last year. Right now he's up to 10%, and that's with Aaron Jones active for a game and a half, who's primarily the Vikings passing down back. So the fact that they're using him more in the passing game already, and I expect him to use him even more in what should be, I think, a sneaky shootout against the Vikings. I actually think Jake Browning, Carson Wentz. I think it's going to
what a duo.
I actually think that's going to be. I think that's going to be
right there.
It's 41.5. I've said I would take the over. I actually think this is going to be a very entertaining game. Just kind of like Giants Cowboys was last week, where you're like, what the hell is this? Or Steelers Jets in week 1, where it's just one of those ones that you don't expect it to be entertaining, but I bet you it's gonna be.
It's still Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson.
Right.
It might be the 2 best receivers.
Believe that. And back to Jordan Mason real quick. We saw him those first 8-9 weeks on the 49ers last year without CMC. Now, this will be interesting. He gets going here in Minnesota Vikings. What happens when Aaron Jones comes back after he comes back from short-term IR? I don't think you could go back to that same kind of 50-50 split there, because we've seen that Jordan Mason can be a running back 1 in regular football, fantasy football, any type of football. He's that good of a running back, and I know right now the Vikings are very happy they brought him in.
He's somebody we talked about in the preseason that we thought was a good value, that he was going a couple rounds after Aaron Jones, but we thought this was going to be a split and that there was an opportunity, obviously, given the injury-prone nature of Jones, it's on the wrong side of 30, that there might be opportunities this season where Mason becomes the guy, and it starts now in week 3. So, yes, he makes the love list. Have him as a top 20 play this week.
Yep. Brandon Baxter, question on YouTube. Pick 2 full PPR, Chase, Connor, and Mason.
You're obviously starting Chase. I think I would go Mason here over
I'll
Connor.
go Mason.
Yeah, I mean, I'm nervous
Bengals.
I'm nervous about Trey Benson's increased usage, especially in the passing game. Arizona on the road at San Francisco. You don't love that matchup. So yeah, give me Jordan Mason and Jamar Chase there.
Comment from Aldo Baravero. Jordan Mason will be on the cover of Madden 27. Bank on it.
Whoa.
I don't think so, but you never know.
I mean, I suppose if you bought Madden 27 and then you printed out a picture of Jordan Mason and then taped it, then I suppose.
No, there's a way.
How's there a way?
Go for 2,000 yards. And on the way to that 2,000 yards, maybe week 11, week 12, make sure you jump over somebody backwards.
Yes.
That's how you get on that cover.
That is
Jordan Mason.
That is the recipe these days. Okay, my guy for the love list, a little niche, but it's Tyler Algier, Ty Dollar Sign. He gets at Carolina. I don't think anyone's called him that before, but I'm going to try to start that movement. So the thing is with Tyler Algier, even though obviously it's Bijan Robinson's backfield, Bijan is the guy, this team does not throw the ball. They are bottom 3 in pass rate over expectation. I think they're still adjusting to this post-Caleb McGarry world. And you see that week 2 against the Vikings, Bijan played 67% of the snaps to Algier's 32%. Tyler Algier got 16 carries to Bijan's 22. Towards the end of the game, Tyler Algier was the guy in there ing it away, getting the touchdown on that final drive, much to Matthew Berry's chagrin, against the Vikings. So in a game where the where the Falcons are 5.5-point favorites against the Panthers, who might have the worst rush defense in the NFL, I think this is a game, like there are going to be games where Tyler Algier, I would think of him as like a kind of a poor man's David Montgomery from last year, where I think he's going to get a lot of work, he's going to have a lot of touchdown equity, and in favorable matchups like this one, I think he can be like a low-end viable flex guy.
Yeah, to me, that's the key, favorable matchups like this one. Like you mentioned the usage last week, the problem, the Vikings couldn't get anything going on offense, and so it was just game script dependent. I don't know that I would count on Tyler Algier as a viable flex week in, week out. I think he's better suited as basically an insurance back for anyone that has Bijan Robinson on their team. Yeah. All that said, Lawrence, I like the call in terms of is he usable this week in a game in which we expect them to win and win handily against the Panthers.
Man, looking at those week 2 numbers, 22 carries for your starter and then 16 for the backup, that is crazy. But again, that's because the Vikings were giving them the ball. Like the Falcons didn't have to do anything. There was really no need for them to throw the ball. They'll be in those types of games down the line, but this is certainly not going to be one, or at least we don't expect it to. One thing of note, though, these two teams met up in this year, week 18 last year. It was 44-38 in overtime. So have that in the back burner, too, though.
All right, question from Ryan Volts. Gross, Algier or Gainwell this week? Half-point PPR.
You're Mr. Algier. You tell me.
Ty Dollar Sign.
Yeah.
All the way. I think that Jalen Warren, per Aaron Rodgers, who's a decent source, says that Jalen Warren's going to get progressively more work and giving him more work in the pass game. So I think that's going to come at the expense of Kenneth Gainwell. And it's a favorable matchup against the Pats, but still I'd take Algier there.
See, I don't think it's I completely agree that it's Algier, but I don't think it's a favorable matchup against the Patriots. Through 2 weeks, the Patriots have actually given up the third fewest rushing yards.
That defense overall.
The third fewest rushing yards to in the game. The third fewest rushing yards in the NFL through 2 weeks are the Patriots. They faced Ashton Genty and Devon Achane.
Yeah.
I'm just, so, yeah. And Gainwell's done nothing. Gainwell's been out there a lot, but it's mostly blocking and yes, Tyler Algier.
I think Tyler Algier going to score a touchdown again.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, let's get to some others receiving votes, headlined by friend of the show. He hasn't been on the show, but we like him. He's our friend Dobby, J.K. Dobbins, who gets a matchup against the Chargers.
Dobby has 15 touches in both games so far this season and 86% of the Broncos' red zone rushes. So when they get in close, they're going to Dobby. I'm at running back 27, as you see there. How about Cam Scattaboo? We love Tyrone Tracy here, but I'm not coaching the Giants. Cam Scattaboo led the backfield in snap rate and touches in week 2. He got the only goal line carry going against Kansas City. Not a great matchup, but it does feel like Scattaboo at the moment is the lead of that backfield. And then listen, I love the tootler. Yeah. I love to toot. I'm a big fan of the toot. I often use the toot, and I would suggest everyone else also use the toot. Bashal Tootin, of course, is what I'm talking about against the Houston Texans. They've allowed the 9th most fantasy points to opposing running backs so far this year, Lawrence. And last week, 74 yards on just 10 touches. Yeah. 74 yards on just 10 touches. That is, give me a second, 7.4 yards per touch. Did that math in my head. Yep. No big deal. I'm just going to say I don't want to brag. But, 7.4 yards per touch is pretty good,
I think you can't prepare with that answer.
No. I literally right now,
you was
right now
and stuff.
In my head. He only played 18 snaps, but he saw a touch on 10 of them. He was explosive, and I think he's going to only get more work. A lot of people have said he could be this year's Bucky Irving. I am on that train.
Okay, question from Valiant Vincent.
Yep.
Need to figure out this flexual frustration over Calvin Ridley of Travis Hunter or Rootin' Tootin'. I want to start instead. That's a terrifying nickname.
Yeah.
Vincent.
Yeah, it certainly is. Now, Tennessee is at home against Indianapolis, so I do think better days are ahead for Calvin Ridley. I'm not starting Travis Hunter until I see it, and they're going up against Houston, which is a pretty good secondary as well. So I actually. And look, you just heard me talk up Rootin' Tootin', the Tootin' machine, the Tootler.
Toot Daddy.
The Toot Daddy. A lot of things we can have here with Bay Shoal, but I'm going with Calvin Ridley. Just volume. I know it's been a slow start, but Rams and Broncos, Pat Surtain cover. There's a reason why he's still the number one option on a team that's going to throw out. For me, it's Calvin Ridley. I know the Colts are good, but I'm saying Calvin Ridley.
It's really
too much work. What do you think?
No, it's really. You even saw that increase in week 2 for him. Now, you kind of get some relief with when you got the Colts pass rush rather than the Broncos or the Rams. So, yeah.
Question from Mr. T, the Mr. T. Lawrence, the sock game today has to have Matthew's ankles feeling
game.
jelly. Yeah.
What's going on with your sock game?
Just some stripes, man.
I want to be
just some stripes.
I want to be very clear about
I ain't a big ankle guy.
Yeah, no.
Lawrence has terrible ankles.
Yeah,
I gotta have something on the ankles. Ankles get a little cold, mucho frio sometimes,
Wow.
So we got to keep something on the ankles there.
Okay, yeah.
I understand.
Let's not get a close-up of Matthews.
Not everyone can pull off my ankle game the way I do. I will say, let's see. There you go. A little something for the kids. There you go.
Not for the kids, hopefully.
Hey, 100% real skin. Let them know. That's real skin right there.
Over 18, obviously. Just when you're my age, everyone's a kid.
That's
to be perfectly honest
what you
with
just did there is illegal in Texas, where we're going next week.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotorWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.